peer-to-peer, and she got him in a program. And today my son is a peer-to-peer specialist on a jail diversion team in Fairfax County, Virginia. He pays his own taxes. He lives independently. He actually works 2 jobs because he doesn't get paid enough as a peer-to-peer specialist. And he's been stable for 7 years. Now, let me brag on him. Guy over 300 pounds in his parents' basement, hadn't been out for months, schizophrenia. My son starts visiting him over a long period. Finally gets him to go out. They go to McDonald's, not the best choice, but he gets him to go out, and they go to a movie. Now, that's not a big deal, unless that's your son, and then it is. It took 6 years, 5 hospitalizations, being tasered, hogtied, terrified, but my son finally became engaged in our mental health system. When he got a social worker who provided him with individual attention, he got a doctor who listened to him. When he got housing where he could feel good about himself, he got a job, he could live a normal life, and he got hope. But there's something else about my son's recovery story that you need to hear, and it is this, my friends, that is the most difficult challenge that we face today. Once we got our mental health system to engage him, my son had to engage that system. And getting someone who is severely ill to engage is the most heart-wrenching, frustrating challenge that a parent or a loved one faces, because you're fighting against an illness that has taken control of someone you love. You're dealing with a stranger who has possession of your child's body. It's kind of funny. I give this speech, and unfortunately in the mental health community, we've divided ourselves into 2 warring groups. And I'll have somebody come up and they'll say, man, what happened to your son? You saved him and you did it. Wraparound services. You got him everything he needed. Good for you. And I look at him and I go, you know, my son had wraparound services when he first got sick. He had a family who loved him. He had a house. He had a job. He had a future. And then another person will come up and they'll say, your son proves that we need coercion, we need involuntary care, we need assisted outpatient treatment. And you know what? They're absolutely right. Every time my son got involuntarily hospitalized, every time he had AOT, he did better. But no judge would ever put him on that permanently. It took something else. So what was finally it? What finally got my son better? And I discovered that it wasn't me. It was us. I was there fighting like hell for him, using every tool available, even lying. I was there extending my hand, and the truth is that in the end, we were just darn lucky that the healthy part of his brain, as Tom Insel put it, reached up and took my hand and said, enough. I've had enough. I want to get better. Now, I never thought I'd be quoting Harry Potter. But there's something to what Dumbledore said. Understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. Listen to that again. Understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. How do we get people such as Kevin to engage? My friends, there is no magical cure. There is no one-size-fits-all formula. I wish there were, but that doesn't relieve us from our responsibility as mental health providers, as doctors, as parents, to demand every possible form of treatment so we can extend our hands to people who need us, people who we love. And we can only hope that through that darkness, they will reach back out. What can we learn from Kevin's story? We need to create a mental health system that is more welcoming, easier to access, friendly, user-friendly, not so stigmatizing, not so scary. We need to create a mental health care system that is uploaded with evidence-based services at the front, and when the first break happens, rather than cobbling together an underfunded, ineffective system that only attempts to meet the needs of all ill persons after they're in crisis, become dangerous, but get them up front. Study after study show early intervention is crucial to recovery. We need to eliminate stigma. It marginalizes our loved ones. We need to look at mental illness as part of being overall physical health and not separate the body. We need to create a system that can be assessed immediately, not waiting 3 months, a month, 3 weeks, a month, or longer. We need to create a system that takes time to actually treat an illness, not simply act like a widget, somebody pushing through. Rather than focusing on ways to repair the damage done after someone is dangerous, we need to find a way to keep them from ever becoming dangerous. We need to demand more crisis care beds, better payments for services, longer-term treatment beds for persons, who need time to recover. Create a system where we don't wait to help someone when they become dangerous. How do we do this? The answer is you. Thank you. I'm almost done. I promise. You need to get angry. Well, actually, you need to do what my grandmother used to say. The people in this room need to get damn angry. Your commissioner said this morning that there is no money. Now, I hate to be obnoxious, but I can be because I'm going to get on a plane in a few hours and I'm going to fly back to Virginia. No offense to you, Mr. Commissioner. Jimmy Walsh said, you need $68 million? I'm no expert on Alabama. $68 million is a lot of money. What do you think would happen if your two football coaches who run two of the best football teams in the United States walked into the state legislature tomorrow and said they needed $68 million to win a championship? If there is no money, Judge Leifman just has given you a roadmap about cost shifting. You need to tell your legislators that a national average, it costs 2/3 as much to provide someone with housing and an ACT team which can get them better than to adjudicate and incarcerate someone with a mental illness. For every $1 you spend on mental health reform, according to a Texas study, you will save $7. It begins with you. I believe that every moment is an opportunity for change. Get involved. Take what you have learned today and put it into use. Make it your moment to speak out. If you get nothing else from my speech today, remember this, please. Margaret Mead said it. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. This afternoon, you have a choice in Alabama. You can simply accept the unacceptable and you can slink away defeated, or you can become empowered by the challenges before us. You can join NAMI to fight for reforms. You've been given a roadmap today. Use it. I was raised in Oklahoma. My dad was a minister, and any of you who know that know two things. It meant I got taken to church every Wednesday night and twice on Sunday. And I got real good at sitting there not hearing a word he was saying, but there was always one story he told that snapped me to attention, and that's because it's about a woman who's having sex. Now, they're in the Bible. You just got to know where to look for them, okay? You might know this story. A woman is dragged before a crowd because she's committed adultery, and everybody gathers around, and they all go up. They're going to have a good old-fashioned stoning. They're going to kill her because of this horrible thing. And please notice in the Bible, it's always the women who commit adultery. I never quite figured that out. They're going to kill her. And we read that the teacher lifts up a stone and says, let she who's never sinned throw that first stone. And we're told the crowd puts down the rocks and they walk away. Unfortunately, we live in a society today where people don't want to put down those rocks. They want to stone people who are different, who are on their streets, who are homeless, who are drug addicts, have mental illness. Get them out of here. Stone them. Get rid of them. My good friend, Brian Stevenson, who lives in Montgomery, Alabama, who wrote the book, Just Mercy, says, I'm glad you know him. He was a character in the second book I wrote, talks about stone catchers, people who stand between the angry mobs and people who cannot protect themselves. And the stone catchers catch those stones until the people are strong enough that they can join the stone catchers. Today, my son wears the face of mental illness, and I will be forever grateful to people such as you who can look beyond the madness in his eyes and see a person of worth and dignity whose parents love him. So thank you for spending this long day here. Thank you for being stone catchers. Thank you for helping people like my family. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. Does anyone have a question
At 4 o'clock?
or comment? If not, do you feel re-energized? Something is wrong if we do not.
Good.
Our theme says it all. It is a matter of time. We have a lot of work to do. We do not need to wait until the 2018 summit, to say what we need to do. We need to be able to check off a lot of accomplishments this next year. And I'd like for our commissioner to come up because he is going to lead us to the next level. And for now, just close out this 2017 summit. Thank you again for attending. Thank you to our presenters. Thank you to our sponsors. And thank you to our committee members who are listed in this summit program, because this would not have been possible without any of them. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. You did great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, you're still here. Gosh, what a day. What a wonderful day. I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who participated. Now, Pete, Earley, on advice of counsel, in regards to the state of Alabama being sued, am I supposed to say you're welcome? And Herb, you said you want to take me back to Dallas. Well, somebody tweeted that, and my staff has my desk packed. Now, wait a minute. I wasn't ready to go. But I thank you, and I thank everybody. Now, I want to thank the council. I want to thank ADAP and NAMI. You've put together a great program. Now, in the last 10 months, and many of you have heard, we talked about the top 5 and the next 5. Now, we are going to plan for NAMI for the summit of 2018. Now, get out your pen. My email address is james.purdue@mhalabama.gov. I want you to send